Not sure if this is even going to work, but I will try to achieve victory here. Okay. Just 2 more seconds. Just 2 more seconds, and then the boss will come for us. Let's see. Here we go. Here it comes. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I don't know whether we're going to achieve victory here, but I can only hope. Okay, so this is the same boss as it was last time. I'm going to assume that they only have 2 bosses at the moment, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to assume that they will add more. Hello and welcome to Shapeshifter Formations. If you'd like to try out the demo, then there is a link in the description, and also add it to your Steam wishlist because it's going to be coming out relatively soon in the near future. I don't know when exactly, but this is looking really good, and it also features local co-op as well. You can even use Steam Remote Play if you so desire to play with someone online, I suppose. Hopefully that's going to work at least. Anyway, this is a game developed by 2 brothers, and they have done an amazing job. And you may think, okay, what is this? Well, it's kind of like reverse bullet hell, kind of like Vampire Survivors, but it's a little bit different in quite a few drastic ways. And you can see here there are achievements. These are disabled for the demo. There is also a guide here. I'm not going to take too much of an in-depth look at this, but you can see there's a massive amount of different status effects. You can pause the video if you'd like to check out those more in depth, and otherwise we have effect triggers as well. And you can see here that they have the ability to on critical, on damage, on heal, and so on and so forth. So there's a huge amount of different combinations that you can go for here, and there's a number of different ship or character selections, as you can see. There's literally 4 different ships right now, and you can even play as a random ship if you so desire, and they all have different passives and all have different active abilities as well. In my opinion, this is an absolutely amazing showing for an indie game that is literally developed by 2 people. It's just so incredibly polished. The soundtrack is fantastic too, by the way, and I have experienced no problems with this whatsoever. No bugs, no performance problems, no nothing, and I have been having a whale of a time. I actually just played 2 runs. I failed the first run, then the second run I actually managed to get to all the way to the end, and there are some extremely cool abilities here. This is the ship that I used to win. As you can see, applying burn has a chance to spread it to a random nearby enemy, so in other words you want to get as much burn upgrades as possible, as many of those as possible. And you also have an active ability which has a high damage laser piercing your enemies and applying burn based on the damage dealt. You also have this, which is an invulnerability and allows you to pass through enemies. It grants 100% critical chance while active. It also increases movement speed, crit chance, and crit damage at the cost of max health. That's the passive. Then the last one places a tower which chains lightning to enemies in range and applies shock. Doubles shock strength but halves overload damage. And there you go. Oh yeah, there's also this one as well, which is a bomb. Causes a large explosion which damages any enemies caught in the blast. And this is an all-rounder which basically starts with a bonus to fire rate, max health, and damage. And then you can also pick your weapon. Yes, there's also more customization. And what's really amazing about this game is the sheer combination of things that you can upgrade. There are so many things, and I can only assume that maybe they're going to think about a meta progression system. There isn't one actually implemented right now. Don't know whether there will be in the future, but obviously everything is subject to change. Who knows whether that's going to be the case, but I think that would be really cool, but obviously that is up to them. Very much depends on what they want to do. Otherwise, machine gun, railgun, chain gun, and chain lightning, and scatter gun. There's 5 different weapons to use with every single ship, which is absolutely amazing. Multi-projectile weapon with large spread and short range. Chain lightning bounces lightning between enemies and applies shock, deals bonus damage to single targets. A chain gun, which is low base damage and accuracy, but has an extremely fast fire rate. Okay, so full disclosure here, I was using the railgun when I achieved victory beforehand, and personally for me, I think the railgun is my favorite so far, but I've only used, I think, the machine gun and the railgun. I was playing as the randomized option, so I wasn't actually choosing anything, but this time around, I think what I'm actually going to do, we're going to play with chain lightning, and I'm going to play with this one. Yes, because this doubles shock strength but halves overload damage. I think this sounds really, really fun because with this weapon, it actually sounds like this is a good synergy to have. Alright, so this is our little character here. This is the level, and you can actually dodge as well, by the way, and you can access your abilities and so on and so forth by pressing right and left mouse buttons. And right mouse button is your special ability, which allows you to place a Tesla tower on the floor, and this is what I'm actually going to use. And there it is. There's the Tesla tower right there. I actually have no idea. It does a little bit of damage, but I'm going to assume that with the tower itself and you're actually going to be doing a pretty significant amount of damage, and you can see here just how amazing this is. Okay, we're going to be going for electrified rounds. Basically, every single thing that I want to go for here is going to try and increase shock. So I want that as much as possible. You can see here on the left side of the screen just how much we have available here too. So we're going to try to increase our stats as much as we can, and hopefully I'll be able to avoid taking damage. Now, the main reason why I was actually able to achieve victory before, in my opinion at least, is we had a great deal of AoE damage as well. So I'm very much hoping we'll be able to do that. Okay, we got burn or critical chance. I will go for critical chance and critical hit damage. I think that sounds pretty good. Being able to do additional damage to multiple enemies at once is going to be extremely useful. I'm probably going to try to go for more damage, what shall we say, more fire rate. I think sounds pretty good, but we're going to go for this because this is more shock strength, more overload strength, and so on and so forth. That's really going to help us a great deal. But you can see here we're doing really quite nicely, surprisingly enough. I'm actually kind of surprised that we're doing so well, considering, as I say, I did choose a randomized setup before, and I was pleasantly surprised with the railgun. I thought that was super, super fun to play with. Okay, so wait a minute. What do we want to go for here? I'm probably going to be going for reinforcement. That's going to give me more max health. You can re-roll things as well if you so desire, but I'm just taking basically whatever the game decides to give me. Now, you may think, okay, so you're picking up these little shards that are on the floor, right? Well, yeah, you pick up these shards and they give you experience. However, there is actually an additional benefit to them. They actually provide you with a currency. Yes, they actually give you a currency, and this currency can be used after the first boss. I'm going to assume that maybe in the full version of the game there might be, I don't know, maybe an endless mode or something like that. I have no idea what they're planning, of course, but I think that would be rather fun. I think an endless mode would be amazing. So maybe we'll see something along those lines, because then what we could do is we could get a huge amount of currency and then we could spend it all in that particular section of the game. Because here's the kicker on that. When you've defeated the first boss, you almost get an unlimited supply of upgrades as long as you have currency. So the more currency you have, the better. It's just going to make everything so much easier for you. I'm going to go for Shard Scavenger here, 10% chance to gain additional shards. In other words, more currency, more experience for the same amount of kills. Because as far as I am aware, there are a limited amount of enemies that you're going to see. There are a limited amount of enemies. So in other words, because you can see at the top of the screen, we need to survive for another 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So the more experience that we can gain over that time, the better. That's pretty much how things are going to go here. I'm going to actually go for another exploit weakness. That sounds like a pretty fun upgrade to go for. So even more critical chance, even more critical damage, and I'm just hoping that I'll be able to get even more critical chance as a result of this, because my critical damage is actually the highest it's ever been in any of these runs that I've done so far. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing if I can maybe do a little bit better there. I have actually started to realize that these shards are actually disappearing. So I am going to have to do something about that. I'm going to have to go after and get them. There is a dodge mechanic, as I've said before, as well. So that's also something that's super, super fun to see. I'm going to go for overclock here as well. That's really quite amazing. The accuracy is reduced, but I don't think that really makes that much difference with the chain lightning ability. Going to use my Tesla tower here. As you can see, oh, my Tesla tower did so much damage in an AoE again. Oh, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, I'm taking some damage right now. That's fine, that's fine. We're going to go for another shard scavenger right here so we can get even more shards. As you can see, massive amounts of shards on the floor. Let's hope I can pick up all of that experience. And as I've said before, the railgun was so strong. It really was. I basically just made sure that I took as much fire rate as possible, because the railgun was already capable of basically killing any enemy in one hit from far away, apart from prime enemies. Yes, prime enemies are these guys. I don't know whether you've seen them so far, but the prime enemies are the ones that have the health bars. They have the health bars, and yeah, like this one right here. This is a prime enemy right there. I'm just going to place my little tower there. Oh, so much damage from the Tesla tower. Yeah, that is really, really nice. And maybe we can do something. Should we go for tune-up? We could go for tune-up, or we could go for 15% chance to apply the status effect again. Ooh, that sounds fun. Okay, let's do that. And this thing is literally, yeah, that thing literally just stood no chance whatsoever. But there are some amazing upgrades in the future in these runs, and that's exactly the reason why you want to try and survive as much as you can, because later on you're going to be getting legendary upgrades, you're going to be getting epic upgrades, and it's just going to be so incredible. It really is. Anyway, we could go for overload strength here, or we could go for shock strength. More of this might be kind of cool. But I'm thinking about the 20% damage. Yeah, I'm going to take this, but this is really bad. This has reduced my overall HP by another 10%, or was it 20% or something like that? Yeah, that's pretty harsh. But anyway, my Tesla tower obviously has a pretty significant cooldown to it, so there's obviously that too. So I do need to be a little bit aware of that and be careful. Okay, I'm just going to try and pick up all of this. Thank you. Nice amount of damage. I think my main concern right now is that I don't have any kind of AoE. My AoE feels very limited unless I have my Tesla tower. If I have my Tesla tower, then it is going to be doing so much damage. I mean, you can see that quite clearly. Look at the clearance that we have available here. But the clearance that I have without the Tesla tower is not so good. Not so good. So I'm a little bit worried about this. Anyway, we're going to go for more critical chance. As I've said, I'm going to try to get as much critical chance as possible. I think that that's actually, in the end, probably going to be very, very useful for us. I'm just going to try and continue picking up items here, continue picking up these shards. Hopefully I'll be able to not take too much damage. My Tesla tower is almost off cooldown. Hopefully I'm going to be able to make use of it soon, because we are... Ah, there we go. Oh, never mind, never mind. Look at this. Okay, we got the boss. We've got the boss initially here. Okay, this is... Okay, this is going to be a little bit problematic. Oh, no. Okay, I don't even know what to go for here right now. I guess I'm just going to go for echoing effects once again. My Tesla tower is down, and now this kind of turns into a bit of a bullet hell game now. So you have to kind of dodge the boss's attack, and hopefully you will be able to do that. It's going to go into different phases, as you can see, and it's going to cause different attack patterns to come out. I'm actually super worried about this because I am very low in HP. I think I might actually be dying here, all things considered. No. Okay. Yeah, I think I might be dead, actually. Yep. I am indeed dead. Wow. Okay. That was pretty unlucky, I gotta say. That was pretty unlucky. Okay. So, there you go. That was basically our first run. Didn't really go very well, did it? No, it didn't really go very well. So, I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna show you the railgun now. Alright? I'm gonna show you the railgun, because for me personally, I think this was an amazing weapon, and I'm going to use the basic ship with it, and we're just going to go for the railgun right here. So you can actually see the difference between the two, because obviously previously you just saw the chain lightning and the Tesla and all that stuff, and you kind of got a brief idea as to what that's all about. But now we're going to see what this is all about, and this is an amazing weapon, as you can quite clearly tell. Look at how incredibly accurate it is. It kills everything from a very far distance away, and we're going to just continue trying to go for things like fire rate, critical damage, critical hit, and all that stuff, because that is the thing that is going to be doing the most damage for us. So that's what we're going to try to do, and I'm going to try to continue picking up as many shards as possible, because if we can get those, everything's just going to work out real nice. Okay, so more critical hit damage, or we could go for ricochet, or we could go for this. This is more critical chance, I guess, so that's kind of decent. So why not? We'll just go for that. And yeah, so that's the point. technically you cannot stand in a corner and just fire away with the railgun. You're going to need to go outside and pick up these shards, because that's the point. That's the reason why they are indeed time limited, I assume. It's to force the player away from a camping mindset, because obviously if you are just camping in the corner, you're probably going to be pretty fine. You're probably not going to have any issues whatsoever. You're probably going to just be like, oh, I'm just going to chill in the corner here. I've got the railgun. It basically has almost unlimited range, I believe. And it's going to be super, super simple for you to do that. However, you do need the experience, of course. You do need the experience. So anyway, I'm going to go for Shatter here. There we go. Yeah, there are some super, super cool abilities, like I've said. The upgrade system is very imaginative. I personally feel like the focus and emphasis on status effects is very fun. I like that a great deal, because generally you're thinking to yourself, okay, look at this. Ice spikes, cryo damage, frost damage. You've got lightning damage, of course, which is, you know, shock and everything. And then, of course, you have burn damage as well. And they're all very much to do with the various ships as well. And I can imagine the amount of build variety that you're going to have. Maybe my build with the chain lightning was just not that effective, you know? Maybe I needed to prioritize something else. Maybe there was something else that I needed to prioritize in comparison to, for example, maybe I needed to get something like this, which reduces ability cooldown by 1 second per level. Now, the main problem that I'm seeing with this particular upgrade is that it is on damage. So in other words, when you get hit, it reduces your ability cooldown, which in my opinion is not something you want to do to begin with. You don't really want to get hit, do you? So that's a bit of an issue. So I'm not entirely sure whether there is another ability, another upgrade like that does reduce. Yeah, this is what I needed right here. This is what I needed right here. Ability cooldown rate plus 30%. That's absolutely fantastic. That is literally the thing that I needed with the Tesla ship. But I'm going to have to take Fulminate here, 15% chance per level for enemies to explode, dealing 25 damage in a 2-meter radius. Going to have to take that. That's just way too good, because later on, and let me tell you, later on, things get hectic. They get very, very hectic. There's huge amounts of enemies on the screen at any one time, and you're going to have to kill them as fast as they appear. Going to go for another one of these. We've literally got what? We've got 3 levels of the legendary power now. Oh my. Okay, yeah, we're going to be literally killing. Look, do you see those blue rings that are appearing now? Yeah, that's us literally killing stuff. Yeah. That is so incredibly cool. Okay, we're going to go for assimilation here. This basically means that we have a almost permanent plus 25% damage when we have killed a prime enemy. So in other words, when we kill this, we have plus 25% additional damage for 3 seconds. Obviously, it's not a very significant duration, but it can help you a great deal when there are multiple prime enemies. And there will be multiple prime enemies, don't worry about that. So yeah, that's also obviously something that's going to be extremely useful for you, as that is going to extend the duration, and it's going to eventually be, what? You know, multiple prime enemies at once. There's going to be probably like 3-4 prime enemies on the screen at any one time. So there's also that to bear in mind. Anyway, okay, so I'm actually going to be going for 1 shot, 1 kill right here, because basically what this does is damage is increased by 10% per level to targets at max HP. So if a target is at 100% HP, then you do 10% more damage dependent on your health. Well, dependent on your level, that is. So my level at the moment, I don't even know what level I am right now. I think I can probably tell if I pause. Yeah, I'm level 13. So I have 130%. I should have 130% additional damage. I'm actually not entirely sure if I do, but whatever the case, we are doing massive damage, and we are still one-shotting enemies. Of course, bear in mind that they are going to gain damage over time, as far as I'm aware. Oh, overclock. Yes, let me take that. Thank you very much. That is going to reduce my accuracy, but that actually isn't that big a deal. It is not that big a deal. I mean, it is kind of a big deal with the railgun, of course, because you want to be as accurate as possible, but when enemies are right in your face, you're probably going to hit them anyway. So it's not really that big a deal. Or at least I hope not. Anyway, let's see what I can get here. I'm going to go for auto repair this time, so that we can actually start getting a little bit of defenses. My run that I did, where I was actually victorious, I did have an ability that provided me increased max HP, basically. So what it would do is it would allow me to pick up orbs from enemies. It would have a 10% chance to, you know, give these orbs when enemies die. And then I would, from there, I'd gain 1 HP per orb. And you can imagine how much HP I was able to gain from that. Actually, the maximum is 50. But what's really cool about it is that when you're damaged, it gives you healing, and when you're not damaged, it gives you max HP. So I was theoretically able to increase my HP by a significant margin. I actually had up to, I think, 180 or something like that, or 190 HP. And obviously then I started to take damage, and then it was, well, a little bit different from there. But we're going to go for an energy shield now. This basically means that we don't take damage from the first hit that we take, so that's actually amazing. So I theoretically now have a damage shield, so I can take that one hit. It is going to be 1 minute recharge to begin with, but when you take more of those, when you take duplicate upgrades of the same thing, it's going to increase the recharge rate of that by 100%. So theoretically that's then going to be 30 seconds. And then if you take another upgrade after that, it's going to be 15 seconds, or it should be, at least if I'm understanding it correctly. Otherwise, we have penetrating shot right here, which we could potentially take, but I'm actually not going to be taking that right now. I don't think projectile pierces are going to be that useful for the railgun. It already penetrates enemies. I don't think it needs to penetrate even further. So I'm pretty happy for it to just continue doing what it's doing right now. And we are, as you can see, with the legendary power that we had, that blue circle right there, it's just chain reacting with basically every single thing nearby to us, which is amazing. Gonna go for lightning bolt here, strikes 2 enemies per level with lightning every 4 seconds. And it's going to be doing even more damage for us. So I'm very, very pleased with our upgrades right now. Hopefully we're going to be able to avoid all of this as well. And that's the point. I can't just avoid things, right? I can't just, as I just said, I can't just stand in the corner doing nothing. I literally have to go outside, and we have to do something about these enemies. So I'm going to continue to get auto repair here. You never know when I'm going to take damage, you know. Oh yeah, also I haven't used my ability. I'm going to use my ability. There's the ability. It's a bomb. It just goes off. It's just a massive AoE in a circle around you by the looks of things, which is actually very cool. And I love the effects in this game as well, by the way. I don't know. Everything about this game is just addictive. You want to see how far you can get. You want to see what kind of upgrades you're going to receive and whether you can actually do something with them. Alright, we're going to go for this. Explosive criticals. That sounds pretty fun. Oh no. Oh, okay, I almost took damage there. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we've got an enemy coming. We've got the boss coming. And this should be pretty simple for us right now. This is the cube. As you saw before, the cube was pretty hard for my previous character. But hopefully I'm going to be able to do this a little easier, because I can actually theoretically just stand far away from him, and I don't actually need to worry about it. You see, I don't need to worry about it at all. I can pretty much just stand here and we can just shoot at him. We don't need to worry about anything, and he's almost dead already. I am taking some damage, unfortunately, from all this stuff, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna go for exploit weakness right here. And let's try and use a little bit of avoidance. Avoidance? No, I said that again. Ugh. I said that in another video recently. I don't know what's going on with me in avoidance, but there we go. Anyway, the cube is now dead. I'm surprised I actually almost died, to be honest, but there you have it. And we get a bunch of shards, and as you can see, I have over 1,100 of them. And now what we can do is we can have a look. Okay, so I'm gonna go... Oh... Yeah, I'm going to take warp drive. That's going to give me movement speed and fire rate. Fire rate is the main reason why I'm doing this. I'm going to re-roll my items. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, these are not that good for me. Yeah, we could go for the frozen shards thing, I suppose. 20% against prime enemies. Then we can re-roll once again. As I said, this currency is so incredibly helpful. It really is. You want to try and get as many of this as possible. It's going to go for that, and then we'll re-roll once again, and maybe we can get something else. Critical hit chance. Okay, that sounds pretty fun. Ooh, fire rate sounds pretty fun too. Okay, we'll go for these. Nice, all of that. Let's re-roll once more. Pickup radius might be good, but I'm actually going to go for this shield right here. One shot, one kill. Oh, we could go for warp drive once again. Should I go for warp drive once again? Ooh, that's a little bit risky. It's a bit risky, but we're gonna do it nevertheless. Okay, we can reroll one more time and let's see. 10% chance. Yeah, no, we're gonna go for this, which is restoring another little bit of health. And there we have it. All right, so now we're through to the next level, and this is where the soundtrack goes crazy. Oh yes, I'm gonna shut up for a second so you can actually hear it. And so there you have it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Okay, we're gonna be... Oh no, I'm taking more warp drive. That's pretty terrible. We're literally reducing our HP so much that I could possibly die in one hit at this point. Maybe. I mean, it's literally 80 HP. You can very easily lose your HP quite fast if you're not careful, but... Yeah, you are going to take 20 damage every single time you get hit most of the time, unless you're up against a boss. Bosses do slightly reduced damage because they obviously attack much more often. So that's a really nice balancing thing that I've noticed about the game, because obviously if the bosses did the same amount of damage as every enemy, and it's very, very difficult to kind of avoid the damage from those, then it would be pretty annoying. So I'm actually very pleased that the developer decided to do that. So yeah, that's actually really nice. Okay, I actually lost my damage shield right there. Gotta be a little bit careful. Just gonna move here, use my bomb. And obviously that's what I've said before. I feel like using the bomb is absolutely so satisfying. It feels very, very satisfying to use. Not as satisfying as the big giant laser that I was using earlier, but it is still very satisfying to see all the enemies just get deleted from the screen. I always like that quite a bit. Alright, what do we want to do here? Gonna go for frozen shards, I suppose, a little bit more. So we get even more percentage chance or even more damage out of that, I suppose. Okay, my bomb is almost ready. This seems like a pretty fun... Oh, never mind. Okay. You saw exactly what happened right there. All my frozen spikes just went off at the same time, and they caused a chain reaction throughout all of the enemies in the area, and they basically all just got murdered. So that was absolutely wonderful. Okay, can we go? Yeah, there we go. There's a bomb. A little bit of damage from that. Wonderful. Can I get some more? Yeah, I'm going to get assimilation. Thank you. More prime enemies killed. There we go. And now we got these guys coming in, and you got to bear in mind that obviously this is pretty hectic at this point. You know, this is pretty hectic at this point. This is just the demo as well. Can you imagine? Whew, can you imagine the full game? I don't even know. But yeah, I would love to see this just be turned up, you know what I mean? Like even further, just more enemies on the screen at any one time. Obviously, this is just me because I have a pretty decent build at this point, but I would love to see more of this. I just want more and more enemies to come in and try to take us out, because as it stands right now, I feel like I'm pretty strong. I mean, you can see here I do have those 3 legendary powers that are really making a huge difference with the AoE that they do around the opponent when they get killed. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's just a very satisfying experience. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but you should definitely check it out. There is a free demo available. You can literally just play it straight away right now. You know, you can do it right now. And you too can try to survive against the wave of whatever these enemies are. But yes, whatever the case. Oh, okay, what's this? Okay, that's kind of weird. What do I want to go for here, actually? I guess we're just going to go for high voltage. I think that seems like a pretty decent idea. I'm going to use my bomb here, just get rid of these. Try and clear out the way. And, oh, that one's actually firing at me. Okay, we've got to be a bit careful of that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, some enemies do decide to start firing at you a little bit later on in these advanced areas. And you can see here just how easy it is for me to die. Because look at that. I just took 20 damage. And obviously my energy shield has gone. So I have to be very careful about taking damage in general, you know. Because these guys can literally shoot at me from very far away. They can remove my shield. And then everyone can just clobber. And that's exactly what they are trying to do most of the time. Okay, so I'm actually going to do life support this time around. I feel like I need more HP. Generally, as I said before, I had double the amount of HP in my winning run before, but now I don't. Now I have a very glass cannon-ish build. Not sure if this is even going to work, but I will try to achieve victory here. Okay. Just 2 more seconds. Just 2 more seconds, and then the boss will come for us. Let's see. Here we go. Here it comes. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I don't know whether we're going to achieve victory here, but I can only hope. Okay, so this is the same boss as it was last time. I'm going to assume that they only have 2 bosses at the moment, but it shouldn't be too bad. I'm going to assume that they will add more. Let me just avoid this. There we go. Okay, we're actually doing pretty well avoiding all of that. And wow, okay, I'm actually kind of surprised I survived that, but yeah, I took literally 0 damage. Didn't even pop the shield, which is really nice. Maybe I can do the same thing here. This is difficult. Okay. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe I can just stand here. Okay, that's not too bad. That was actually fine. All right. Now it's going to do this. And now, unfortunately, my accuracy is not so good. Yeah, my accuracy is kind of bad. Okay, thankfully, we were actually able to achieve victory. And as you can see, it's given us a huge amount of currency. And we also have upgrades because I actually leveled up from that. I'm going to take overcharge once again. That sounds pretty fun. And yeah, that is indeed the end of the demo. Yeah, that is actually the end. I'm going to assume that in the full game, you would probably be able to continue on. Maybe you would be able to continue on. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's the end of the whole thing. I don't really know. But I am very much looking forward to seeing what happens when they actually release. Because as far as I'm aware, they want to go into early access so that they can listen to to community feedback and all that wonderful stuff. And they have done an amazing job. They really have. They've done wonderfully. Very, very cool. And yeah, the only thing, actually, you know what? The only thing that I'm missing here on this screen is a breakdown of what actually did the most damage, but I'm going to assume that it was obviously just us firing, right? It's probably going to be this. Fulminate is going to be the thing that does the most damage, followed by my main weapon. So maybe it doesn't even need a breakdown of all that stuff, but whatever the case, this has been Shapeshifter Formations, and I'd highly recommend adding it to your Steam wishlist if you're interested, and otherwise you can play the demo. You can play the demo straight away. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.